Hi, my name is Nomtha and you're watching Money Conversations with Nomtha. Today we'll be talking all things budgeting. What is budgeting? Why do you have to do it? And how do you do it efficiently? So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First of all, when you're budgeting, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing, girl? Okay, so when you're budgeting, you are basically being in control of your money, and you are saying, yo money, I see you, and I'm telling you, go there, go there, go there. You're basically directing your money and telling it where it should go and what to do once it is there. That's budgeting in a nutshell, right? So now how do you do it efficiently? Well, there are many ways in which you can budget efficiently. Some people like to use applications, for instance, and some people like to use just an Excel spreadsheet, and also you can also use the traditional method of getting a pen and a paper and writing things down. And when you use that one, the last method of just taking a paper and writing things down, you basically don't need so much resources, right? Of course, you need a pen and a paper and it's over, but if you are using an Excel spreadsheet, you obviously do this on the computer, but it really helps you because it's really safe there. You know that this is where you will find the stuff. But then you can also use an app, for instance. Many people also like to use an app, and this is a modern way of budgeting, but unfortunately it comes with money, it comes with paying money, so you do have to pay for an app. Fortunately, it's not for free. If you, for instance, you realize that you always make a budget, but for some reason you see that your budget never really works for you, you always draw up this budget plan but it just doesn't work, then you probably not tracking your budget. First of all, you're probably not tracking your budget. Try to track your budget. The reason being is that if you don't track your budget, and maybe you just draw up a budget at the beginning of the month, and then you don't track it, that means whenever you are that means by the end of the month, when the month is now finally over, then only then will you realize that, oh my God, I overspent on this, I overspent on that. But when you are tracking it, it helps you realize almost immediately, depending on how often you track, so that you don't realize that you've actually overspent in some categories when it is already late, essentially. So if you find out end of the month, that's already late. You've already spent the money anyway. An app is usually very good with tracking because you can literally drag transactions and put them in their respective categories. You are able to realize that, okay, so now watenga amasi ShopRite, and then you go now and drag that transaction and put it where you should put it, under your grocery category, right? Remember, your budget should have categories. But that's a story for another day, so we'll still make a video on that. But yeah, I think you probably get the point, I hope. So that's what an app does, but this is also possible even if you are using the old method of just a pen and a paper. Just make sure that you always go back to that paper and look at it and record things down and write whatever needs to be written to say, okay, now this is how much we've spent on this category, and this is how much we've spent here, and this is how much is left of it. Correct. So that's number one. Tracking. You have to track. Number two, you have to budget for irregularities. Sometimes there are things that just pop up during the month, and you're like, yo, I didn't see this one coming. Or maybe it's really something that you did forget about. And I'm not talking about an emergency type of thing here, whereby you need now to access or to tap into your emergency savings. No, I'm talking about just irregularities, like being invited for a baby shower, or being invited for a birthday party that maybe you forgot about. Maybe you were already invited on time, but you forgot to put that in your budget. It's basically for miscellaneous expenses. So that's where it comes in handy when you get such things. Correct. So this is going to be very important, because if you don't budget for irregularities, what that means is that whenever something comes up, it will get you off your budget. Your budget will look like it never works, and you may get discouraged from this. The thing is that you have to get the budgeting thing right, because when you're getting it right, then you kind of feel like you are in control of your finances. You feel like you got this, and this is really the feeling that you should have when you are running your personal finances, right? When you realize that your budget does not work, it's probably because you are in denial of how much is required. Exactly. Maybe you are in denial of actually how much is required, and you're thinking, you always under budget. So I know, for instance, with things like entertainment, people don't like to acknowledge and accept that, okay, they like to go out and they use a lot of money for that, for the groove. So you need to also put a lot of money for that too, and be able to know that from your budget, this is the amount of money that goes to this thing, to have fun. This is the type of fun that you like, and you should be able to budget for that. So but in whatever category, just be mindful of the fact that you don't have to be in denial. Be honest with yourself and say, how much do you actually use? All right, so that you stay motivated with keeping up with your budget. And lastly, maybe if your budget does not work, maybe it's probably because you don't have an end in mind goal. When you don't have an end in mind goal, to say you don't have a plan for your money. And honey, if you don't have a plan for your money, rest assured that somebody else has one. All right? Shall I repeat that? Okay, I think you heard me. But yes, so always have a plan for your money. Know exactly where your money is going. But that's what essentially budgeting is you being in control of your money and having a plan for your money. If there's anything they should take from this video, is budgeting is having a plan for your money. And that's the definition of budgeting. Correct. But otherwise, that's the end of the video. I hope you did like it. But if you did like the video, if you did enjoy the video, if you found it helpful and valuable, please remember to like, to share, to subscribe, to also click the notification bell so that you are notified whenever there's a new video that goes up from this channel. But until next time, stay financially savvy, and I will see you later. Ciao.